Roar!
Hello there, ladies and gentlefolk, and welcome to another episode of the Zcast. We actually have Squee this time.
Yay!
It's a shame, I know, I was trying to keep him locked up and, barred away somewhere, but
I
he's just
picked it with my
irrepressible.
teeth.
It's like, for God's sake, the guy never shuts up. You have to let him out at some point, otherwise he'll just, talk your ear off. It's terrible. Even gagging him for some reason didn't work, it just comes out of somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like basically like he locks me up and it's just like, hey, rebel, hey,
Fuck
hey,
off. For God's sake, leave me alone. How dare you still be talking? You bastard. But yeah, so he's back for this one, and after...
I'm here too.
No, you're not. We don't care about you. We already heard your voice. We don't really care. You basically introduced this thing with you're ready to rumble, so count yourself lucky.
Oh,
on
did you
that
record
one.
that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I literally
really?
I thought he's gonna make this go longer, so I put that in as well. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Brilliant.
I know I am.
Wow.
Now, one thing before we get started I wanted to mention is just a little bit of a thing about the rules and regulations that we've had for the past several seasons, but haven't really... Well, I've kind of been a bit confused, and also haven't been noted down anywhere. So, first thing about that is, either by the time this video goes up, or maybe just after it, the rules will be up both in the custom abilities subforum, as well as every single team's private subforum. I will be putting it there. Read the rules, you don't have to memorize them, just refer to them, and don't break them, because we have plans for next season in terms of penalties.
I would even suggest that each team, and this isn't necessary, but I would even suggest each team, if you're smart, you would make a thread in your custom form that has just the rules, so that your team can go refer to them at will.
Oh no, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put them all.
Oh, you're gonna put you're gonna make it own. Okay, nice,
yeah.
nice.
So that's where I'm gonna put it. What might be worthwhile, team captains or people who have the, I'm sure admins can do it if they really want us to edit the first post that may appear at the top of every page and just have the rules in a spoiler thing in there, just for people to refer to very, very easily. But I will be putting them in the private forum bit for every single team, so you have no excuse not to know what the rules are. But on the subject of not knowing what the rules are, regarding Kid Buu, we had a couple of comments in the last Zcast about that. One was from Neo Lone Wolf, which was saying that it wasn't illegal. It was. Don't fucking question me. we talked about it in the staff for a while before then, and I went, and hang on a second, that was wrong, wasn't it? That was illegal, because Kid Buu used sleep in the thing, and that suddenly reminded me. Hang on a second, I'm sure that's not right.
Now, here's the thing. It's possible because Neo was saying that he talked to me about using Capito's secret art, and I said it was okay. And the truth is, if that happened, and I'm not saying it didn't, because I am an absent-minded man, it was wrong. And I was wrong. And it's possible, I was answering something at 3 in the morning, and for the life of me could not think straight. But no. It doesn't mean that it wasn't illegal. It just means that you're not getting punished for using it. You're just not allowed to use it anymore.
Yeah. The same as the Earth Defenders aren't getting punished for having, 3 of the same Patara on their team for God knows how many weeks of the season. But, blowing past that. The other thing we had was another one of the comments was asking if the illegal build for Kid Buu even mattered, and talking about how, did he actually use sleep very often. The problem with that is not necessarily whether he did or didn't use it, which, by the way, he did. I think at least once, maybe more than that, as I recall. I know he at least tried to use it several times. No, he definitely got it off successfully once, I'm pretty certain. But he may have tried to use it more often than that, I don't recall. But the problem isn't necessarily that whether or not someone does use it or not, it's a case of the potential of them using it frequently is really quite dangerous.
It would be good to kind of explain a little bit how the staff has to look at things. When we talk about whether something should be banned or restricted, we don't sit there and say, does it happen? We sit there and say, can it happen? Is it likely to happen? Is this potentially a problem? And that's how we have to look at it, because if it can happen, it will happen at the worst possible time.
Mm-hmm. And it'll make us look like complete idiots, and it'll make things really quite tricky for the
And
league
the
in
perfect
general.
example of that is, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, where Kid Buu almost destroyed an entire team, and sleep was a big part of that.
Mhm.
So you never look at, well, sure, he can use it, but he doesn't use it a lot. I'm sorry, no, we can't consider that when defining the rules, permanent rules of a league.
No, absolutely. It's just, yeah, it isn't going to happen. It's kind of, the likelihood is a very, very minor part. It's the potential for use, full stop, that's the really important thing. And the potential for use and the ramifications of that use are fucking huge for sleep. You know, even the inclusion of something as minor as light body can just make sleep almost guaranteed to get off without a melee combo, for example.
Right.
So it makes things incredibly difficult for us as a whole. But no, it is, so to clear everything up, there will be the rules going up. They will have this in there. They will be very, very clear on the fact it was an illegal build, but the Boos are not being punished for it because we didn't catch it, and apparently we didn't make the rules clear enough for the Boos, so there is no punishment regarding that. I think that's
Right, but we
pretty much
will be correcting our mistake, and starting now, but especially starting at the next season.
Yeah.
There will be no excuse not to know, for everyone not to know what rules are. And also, just so you guys know, next season, just because if I or Durangel miss an illegal build does not mean you're not responsible for it.
Yeah.
We have to do, 80 characters of builds. Something might slip past us, as good as we are at doing it. That does not mean that. Yeah, relatively speaking,
I'm allowed to take the piss. I'm allowed to take the piss.
I know. But just because we miss it doesn't mean, well, you let it be, so it must be okay. No.
Yeah, no, it is first and foremost the coach and the team's responsibility. And just so you guys know, some of the things that we were talking about actually before we started, if what we're considering goes through, even if your team build, like the illegal build, is caught, it'll still go through one way or another, depending on the exact type of punishment we use. You just may get completely fucked because of it. You know, we're not going to be nice about the punishment.
In case you
trust
haven't
me.
noticed, Rebel is pretty pissed off at something that's gone under his radar.
Yes, I'm not, like, despite the fact that I've pretty much completely ignored the final customization thread because I'm not the coach anymore, so I had no real reason to go there, and I don't do the build, so it doesn't bloody matter for me. For some reason, I'm still pissed off I missed that Kid Buu had an illegal build. Don't know why, but yeah, irritating.
We're considering harsh penalties for putting up illegal builds because it's the only real way to stop it from happening is by saying, once or twice you might do it, and I promise you will not do it again, kind of thing.
No,
that to us is even worse than, say, posting a build late. Posting a build late, we understand. Stuff happens. Maybe you posted it late. We try and be as strict as we can, but more lenient. But an illegal build is just sloppy work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a big difference between those kind of things.
Indeed. We've spent nearly 10 minutes on this, so
Yeah.
I think pretty
important
much we've covered everything several times. So.
And
Unless
those are
HK
not-
wants to
those-
weigh in and go over it yet again. I mean, I'm cool with that.
Sorry, I think we've missed something quite important here.
What's that?
I noticed earlier today that Kid Buu has actually been using an illegal build.
Really?
quite
Like
a-
several weeks? Not only like a week after I mentioned it, a week after everybody else noticed as well. Congratulations, HK. Well
Yeah,
done. We're proud
I
of you.
think we should mention that.
I wonder
yeah.
why the internet definition of troll had a picture of you.
No, you can't see the avatar. Only cool kids can see it.
And, if you try and look at HJK's face, the lenses on your eyes, they actually crack. So
That's why I don't have a webcam.
yeah. Nice. Sorry, HJK, I couldn't resist. It was an easy target.
Wow. Moving on.
So yeah, week 15.
Week 15.
Week 15
Yeah,
happened.
week
That
15
was a
final
thing.
week. Good
Yeah.
change.
You know, I would have to say, oddly enough, or I guess, it was not. It was a good week, but it definitely wasn't the same spectacular type of matches we had the past 2 weeks. The 2 weeks before that, and to me, it almost was a reflection of like the past 2 weeks before that. Everyone was fighting for playoff spots, so everyone was going all out. This week, it was like,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
tired.
like a few teams that really cared.
There were two teams that truly were fighting for a playoff spot. And there was the Gohans and Dirt, but they were in the playoffs. It was just kind of like who
gets
has
the bye week? Yeah.
bye week. Yeah, really, only the Ginyu Force and the Earth Dimensions were the only ones that.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
You know, actually,
Yeah.
I did put this out though, and I actually made a replay because we were pretty harsh on Ginyu's ultimate. But all told, when all said and done, it was the equivalent of a 19,000 point ultimate, which is not bad.
Yeah, that's
not-
pretty good.
I've
If-
seen better.
Well, yeah, of course.
Typical
But
to be against
my
us.
my point is, when you take all the damage that Kid Gohan, quote unquote, did
Mm-hmm.
over the course of Vegeta and Trunks, wasn't a bad ultimate when used at the right time with the right build.
No, absolutely. I mean, it was a very good idea actually, making it melee focused. But
Next time, don't do it against us, though.
yeah, bad plan. Right, let's go. First match.
First match is Blades and Valkyries.
Two teams pretty
Man.
much secure in their positions, regardless of what happened in that match. Although, strangely, I don't think the Valkyries made any like real changes. I don't think there was any experimentation for the not even in the past. I don't know, many weeks. Like when they've been securely in the playoffs, pretty much. There's
Really?
not been much in terms of experimentation. Yeah, I think
mean,
I'm
let me
just going. I'm just going back to their final customization now. But let's just see here. Yeah, Fasha's build identical. Zengaya's build identical. This is just a week 14. Sailwoman wasn't in, but what about the week before that? Identical. And 18 was identical to the week before. So there was like in the past 2 or 3 weeks at the very least, there's not been any single change for the Valkyries, which is very strange given they've got to go through the androids who they did beat, admittedly, in the tiebreaker or the division match they had. They
Yeah.
did beat them, I think they
Mm.
did. I'm pretty sure they did.
I
Yeah,
think
they did. They did. As I recall, they
That's
did.
way too long ago. I don't remember.
But they have the androids to go through, who are never an easy team. Certainly not, 5v5. They're not going to be easy at all. And then you have Cold to go through. Like the lack of experimentation there, I got nothing. I don't see it.
Well, it should be interesting.
Well, let's. Yeah. I will say though, in the past 3 or 4 weeks, Cold has not been their spectacular selves. So
But in the past 2 or 3 weeks, Cold hasn't been putting out their best team
that's
or putting out their
true
best
as well.
builds.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like-
that's true.
It's like we've
But
been
no, I'm
secure
not.
for the
I'm
belts
not.
for a
I'm
while,
not. I'm
so.
not suggesting that Cold isn't a threat. I'm suggesting that it might have given a false sense of security, or
For the
you know what I'm
vaccine.
saying?
Yeah,
Like it might
yeah.
have been, Cold. Look, they're finally showing their true colors. Might have given that kind of
So,
sense.
well,
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
Honestly, to be secure in the playoffs and not secure in the first seed. In other words, like you're not going to be out, and you're not going to be first seed. To not experiment,
Yeah, I don't.
not my
I
style.
don't understand that, but meh, whatever. I ain't complaining. Listen,
Right.
I'm certainly not gonna freaking complain about that. But yeah, the Blades won, and the Blades are doing incredibly well at the minute. The Blades really are a force to be reckoned with.
Good job.
Yeah, they're a little bit scary.
A little bit scary.
Tad, little.
Just tiny bit, tiny
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give him too much credit. Next match is
Rugrats versus
Rugrats.
Gohans.
What?
Listen, if you're gonna struggle to find them, I have them in
I
front
was-
of me in 2 different places.
I was
Okay.
building the tension.
There was no
God.
tension, HK. We all know what the matches were.
Wow. You know I can kick you this time.
I felt the
You
tension,
could,
HJK. I
but I'm
felt it.
still freaking recording it. So it doesn't make much of a difference. I'll just carry this on my own if you want. I'm perfectly happy to do that.
That moment was so tempting.
You know, I could also just call Squee and keep you out of it. Potential there as well.
But he felt tension.
Children.
Rugrats at Gohan's. Da-da-da-da.
Already said that. God.
I didn't hear you.
Pardon?
In fact, I rarely hear you. Carry on.
It's probably because my mic's so low.
Yeah. Luckily. What?
So yeah, Rugrats at Gohan's was, I don't know, it was GT Goku again. Like, he does really,
Poor
really
guy.
good
I
combats.
know.
And then it's like at the last minute, he just sort of, I don't know, trips on his shoelaces or something. I don't know what the hell goes on, but he just stops and takes beams to the face. It's not a good look.
No, it's not. Yeah, I honestly, I feel so bad for him because, like you said, he's had such spectacular comebacks, but you can't really call it a comeback if you don't go all the way.
No, absolutely. But no, I mean, fair play to the Rugrats. You know, they have had a fantastic build on him doing whatever the fuck he does. I've got no idea.
Every
And
other
Trunks as well in that game. All credit to Trunks. He was bloody amazing. Some of that damage he was pulling out was phenomenal.
Yeah. The kids in that thing are just so deadly.
They are.
They should really make a
fast
team
melee
full of
combos.
kids, but I don't know. One day.
One day. But yeah, I mean, the Gohans are still doing really well. I mean, joint second highest win-loss record in the league. That's pretty bloody impressive from a team that didn't even make the playoffs in South Kai last season. I
Only
mean,
second.
Yeah.
Only second. Sorry. What? Karen.
I now have an empty ale bottle here, HK. If you were anywhere near me, it would be broken over your head.
Oh, you're second too, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's a
Joint
shame.
second.
I think you've been first all season.
Yeah,
Right
we
at
have
the
been
end.
first all season. We've
Right
been
at
better
the
than you
end,
for the
you
entirety
failed.
of the season.
You failed. Unlucky. Don't worry. No problem.
Yeah, we did more. We were more secure in our position than you were, so we had the chance to do more tests.
That's because it was East Kai, not as.
Yeah, but you still lost to me, HJK.
In fact, I lost to both of you. That's a
Yep.
weird irony here.
Yeah, highest win-loss record, and yet 2 of your 4 defeats were to us.
Alright.
I love the logic of that. It's like, I've got more wins than anyone, but you didn't beat me.
Yeah, you didn't
Really
beat the Earth
bullshit.
Defenders, who are now in South Kai.
South
HJK,
Kai,
for
don't
God's
mind me.
sake.
Uh,
I am not going to stop razzing you about that until next season.
You know, it's so
Probably
weird,
still
and
be
I
in
love
South
this.
Kai.
It gets the competitive nature of everyone. No one wants to be in South Kai, even though everyone should want to be in South Kai.
Oh no,
Yeah.
absolutely. But the problem is because we rank it on how good your team does, and that's the
Yeah.
worst teams that do the worst. There's kind of like a forward planning that you just don't want to do. In that regard, it's like, okay, we'll lose the
Right.
entire season to get into South Kai to win everything next. Oh no, wait, you still have to play those good teams. Shit. The logic is kind of a difficult one to
Mm-hmm.
figure out that. But no, it was a good game, and all credit to the Gohans. They have been very, very good over the past.
Yes, they have. I think that the Teen Gohan was a great acquisition for them, and not just that. Even though Teen Gohan was a great acquisition, all
He's not
of
been
the
their star
Gohans,
player, actually.
yeah, all
He's
the
arguably their
Gohans have
worst.
been.
He's-
I mean,
yeah.
Saiyaman's done amazing, and he was dropped a few seasons ago because he wasn't doing that well,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and he's been with that freaking junk shot. He's infamous now.
He's wanted. He's literally wanted for
He's
money.
literally like we have wanted posters in the DBZ arena over here.
Problem is, he wears a mask, so you can never catch his true identity.
Ah, yes, but
Anyway,
he
about
always
the
wears the
Gohans.
same mask, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Then again, he can fly, so you're not going to catch him very easily.
So can aeroplanes.
Can aeroplanes fight back?
Yes.
Well, actually, that's Why did I
Anti
say that?
missiles will usually do the trick, HJK.
aeroplanes can't fight things. Silly rebel. They're only passenger people. Kind of ridiculous
Oh, fuck
idea.
yeah. Although, actually, I'd probably
Next,
rate
you'll
the
be saying they
chances of a
drop
Boeing-
bombs on places.
Oh, no.
Next, you'll be saying they'll have them without pilots. Sorry.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. That's a stupid Wait.
Wait a second.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, next match.
match.
Cold at Namek.
Yeah, cold lost to light grenades.
Oh,
Shit.
dear. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
funny. Every time.
Testing match where I basically turned around and went, yeah, whatever.
I
Yeah,
at least found it
sure.
funny. Because you lost and now you're second place and I'm first.
Actually, it's quite entertaining actually because we lost to Namek, who I believe at the end of last season we also lost to as well.
Some things never change.
I don't know, that constantly losing to the Super Saiyans thing changed.
Eventually, after 4 seasons. Get that in your head.
Yeah, no,
you
I
did
was
beat them.
You never
What?
won ever.
No. I'm talking to HJK. You
What?
didn't beat them.
No, you then.
Who cares what happened in seasons 1 through 3? We're in season 4, buddy.
Called history
Yeah.
and tradition.
No,
Squeeze.
no such thing. We've changed the teams a few times since then. Not
Not
happened.
my
Just-
team.
Once or twice, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we've changed your team, HD. We got rid of Team Gohan after all.
Oh, I thought
We
meant
let you start off in
literally
Super
get rid
Saiyan
of
form
entire
rather than
teams.
in base form.
I thought you meant get rid of entire teams. Yeah, whatever.
I don't think we've even. We haven't done that.
No, but we'll add them then. Is what I meant.
You're just defining more and more of the parameters of this so that you're right. No, you're
I think
doing
you need
it
to
wrong.
understand. I am right, Rebel. Anyway,
No, I
Nam-
don't
Come-
understand the concept of you being right. It's just
Namek-
too scary to imagine.
Namek Gold. Did King Piccolo get rotated out for that one?
It was actually called at Namek.
Sorry.
No, King Piccolo was there. It was early
Yeah.
Piccolo that was rotated out.
Oh, okay. I don't remember it. King Piccolo. Maybe it's because he didn't like destroy 3 people. That was.
Nah, what team would be weak enough to have like 3 players destroyed by King Piccolo? I mean,
I don't
God.
know. Definitely a team that didn't lose.
Well, King Piccolo actually had a pretty good performance. He
No, he did,
pretty
yeah.
much took Frieza down by himself, which is actually saying a lot.
Yeah, no, it is saying a lot. I think Frieza transformed like twice. I think.
No, actually, I think Frieza was taken out before he could transform. Well, you know what?
No,
I'm not
he
even. It's been
transformed.
a
He
while.
transformed at least once. I'm pretty sure he transformed twice.
Yeah, I think you're
I
right
don't
too. It's been a
remember.
while since I saw the match, so I wasn't editing it this morning at all.
No, of course not.
No,
It's been like at least 5 hours since you saw the match.
exactly.
God damn it, Squid. Next match.
Next match is Super Saiyans at Ginyu Force.
Yeah, Captain Ginyu, eh?
Damn him. Made
Someone's
things
not
so
better.
much more difficult. The one time he has to use his damn ultimate.
And actually, no.
Actually, he's done it
not
twice
just,
this season.
Not just
and
not
done
just
it.
use it, but done it to great effect.
Yeah, he did it twice this season, and both times he used it at the right time. It was rather impressive.
When was the first time?
Oh, it was really early in the
Really
season.
early in the season.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And it was before they gave him a melee build, so
Damn it. But other than that, I think we did fairly well.
Yeah, you did okay.
Yeah, Goku actually did 40,000 points.
good.
Fucking adult Gohan. Jesus Christ.
See, now that's what you should be doing when you're
Yeah.
experimenting.
Mm,
Cracks knuckles. Happy.
meh.
How was your experimenting, Rebel?
Well,
Yeah, that was
I'll
my
get-
my experimenting. I left the experimenting up to Deadmaster Zero and just sat in a corner going meh. Meh.
I'll get into it later on when we're past all the matches, but a very successful week for Halo builds.
Yes, strangely.
Good job, Halo. We all know it's you.
Strangely, Halo, you aren't shit anymore. Good job.
Yeah.
Next match, I guess.
Next match.
The next match is Boo at Derp.
Mm.
I don't actually remember this one.
Boo destroying Derp's hope of getting into.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
fairly close match, but Boo pulled it out in the end.
Yes, they did, and also without Kid Boo.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah,
fair
they
play
relied
to-
on the rest of
fair
the
play,
teams.
fair play to the Boos. That is very good for them. I mean, it wasn't entirely unexpected, but they did a good job. Like considering how poorly the rest of the teams had its moments over the past season, they did very, very well.
Agreed. Agreed.
I've got to say to Derp, well done.
And Derp almost went from being, I think they won 2 matches last season, to having
Yeah.
almost tied for second highest win-loss record.
Yeah, no,
They
fair
actually
play.
had they ended the season having 3rd highest win-loss record, which is phenomenal from what they
Yeah.
were last season.
No, absolutely. I tell you what's really interesting, actually, that I have just noticed, because I'm looking at the score, I've been looking at the scores for the past like 5-10 minutes, is we have a person in top place, 2 people in second place, 3 people in third place.
4 people in fourth place, please.
No, we don't actually. It's a shame, 'cause the fucking Namex decided to get 1 extra win.
Oh, no,
Actually, no, it wouldn't have worked. They'd have needed like 2 less, or needed like the Saiyans to get 1 less, or someone.
Saiyans.
Yeah, it was really interesting. This season was very even across the board. So many tied teams, so many divisions that were really close. It was really fun to watch.
No,
Yeah,
it was very good.
To begin with, it did start out with cold. Looked like they were just going to breeze through the entire season.
Yeah, it did. I think the one saving grace you have in terms of Cold is the fact that, with the exception of Frieza and Mecha Frieza, and now King Cold, but certainly not at the start of the season, but King Cold now, the rest of the team, you know, in terms of Meta Cooler and Cooler, are not actually very good at the minute. You know, Cooler's gone from, over the past few seasons, being arguably the MVP of the entire team to being almost the worst player. Like, he's doing like terribly at the minute. So
Yeah, that is a weird part with King Cold. He is inconsistent, but he's inconsistent in groupings. Like, he'll have 3 or 4 weeks of amazing, and then 3 or 4 weeks of not.
No, absolutely. But Boo's Derp was a fun match actually. I didn't used to enjoy watching Derp fight. I used to find them quite a boring team, because kind of like the Dragon Ball Warriors, like last season. Certainly, you were pretty much guaranteed they'd lose, and it just wasn't all that interesting. But now, not only have they got a winning record, they're also a really strong team and a really fun team to watch.
They are, and not all of it has been. I mean, obviously, Dodoria and Salza were great pickups for them. Absolutely phenomenal.
They've made Hercule work now.
Exactly, Hercule is a decent competitor now. You actually have to worry about him. Supreme Kai, with that style of the strong, is actually again another decent competitor. Consistently, he had his moments before, but now he steps on the field, and you got to worry about everyone on that team.
No,
Android
absolutely.
19. Same thing, yeah.
And Android 19 has gone from being like the star player of that team to being, you know, a good player amongst good players.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I mean, Derp's done a very good job over the past season. Fair play.
Well done, Derp. High five. Smash screen. Next match. Margin at Earth Defenders.
Fucking Earth Defenders. Seriously? You are kidding me.
It was
Bullshit.
amazing.
What absolute fucking bullshit. I'm sorry,
You
but Goku,
welcome, sir.
seriously. I got nothing.
You've
I'm
got
just
can you build our Goku? We'll pay you.
No, don't pay him. His team's 6 and 9.
I don't care. I want his Goku.
I still marvel at the fact that's not Style of the Strong. That is simply Indignation and Super Plus 2.
Yeah.
And we're looking at 25,000 Ultimate right there.
Shut up.
It's
Fuck off.
amazing.
Hate you.
And then we had someone on the comments like a week before, why don't you use base Goku? Well,
Let me show you something.
let me direct you to the match on the screen.
Yeah, just a bit. But also, interestingly enough, as a result of that match, Earth Defenders may still be in South Kai, but Earth Defenders also secured Margin's position in South Kai. So,
True.
Yeah, it's very good for... very entertaining, and despite the fact that they didn't need to, Earth Defenders are now a game ahead of the Ginyu Force. So it's interesting, none of the bottom places for the divisions now are actually done by a technicality. Nor, for that matter, are the top places. So there's actually a win, at least one win barrier for, with the exception of South Kai, there's a 2-win barrier between every single division. Except East Kai has 3 as well. So yeah.
Wow. Good on
Yeah,
you,
no, it was an interesting match that the Earth Defenders were fucking lucky with. I was literally sitting there begging at the screen, going, Spopovich, just throw one key ball, one fucking key ball, one key ball, one key ball, and Squee's heart will break. No, it's not gonna fucking happen, is it? No.
No,
Angry
actually,
Kamehameha! Oh god, overkill.
He ended the match with about 1,000 or 2,000 points left. It was, I think what you're referring to is when he had about 50 points of health left, decided to, no, he had about 200, 300 points of health left, charged up to max, did a 11,000 point combo of ping pong, and then got a blast key to the face, and I thought it was over, but he had just a tiny little bit of health left, pulled off an ultimate, and then tagged like a champ.
I hate you so much.
It was really...
Fucking hate you.
Again, I want no Goku.
Yeah, no. In all seriousness, Goku did incredibly well.
He
But
did.
for
And
him,
had-
that team would have been screwed.
And he's actually been pretty consistent for the past few weeks. We're all, like on my team, we're sitting there going, okay, we got Krillin figured out. We got Goku figured out. What about the rest of this team?
Yeah.
Okay, next match. Sorry, I was just doing something. Next match is DB Warriors at Androids.
Dragon Ball Warriors won,
Yes, they did. Thanks
getting
to
themselves out of South Kai for next season and basically condemning Earth Defenders to South Kai.
Yep.
Damn you.
Wow. I mean, Dragon Ball Warriors have done amazingly well. Given the last season they had, they have, and the fact that they also had, like, for them, like, they had Grandpa Gohan, General Tao. No, I was going to continue that point actually, but they had at least 2 completely new players to them. They've done very, very well.
They have indeed. And it should be pointed out that also with that victory, they ensured that I don't think any team that was in South Kai Division this season is in South Kai Division next
No
season.
team that's the South Kai is going to be a completely new division. Like, it's
Every
gonna be teams that have
single-
never been there. Yeah.
Every single team in South Kai Division clawed their way out of it, and that's
Yep.
amazing.
That is fantastic. I mean, technically
And
the Dragon Ball
almost
Warriors
every
did it on
team
a
that was in
technicality,
almost
but-
every team that was in North Kai Division, well, only 2 and are still in there, and one of them just barely.
Yeah. Look at you, Booze.
just
Look
barely.
at you. Yeah,
But
bottom.
muscle
Sorry.
just about keeping their heads up and making it to East Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Just about. But
Which
yeah,
is-
no, Dragon Ball Warriors and Androids was a good game.
I kind of find East Kai quite. I mean, East Kai and West Kai were originally intended to be no different in terms of how good they were. I believe it was just meant to be randomly selected in both, and now it's sort of drifted to East Kai is the higher quality division.
Come
And
on, they had
West
cold
Kai's.
in them, for God's sake.
Yeah, well, you didn't help the. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, you didn't help that particular reputation. But that's the thing about history, I guess, and tradition and stuff. That's just ended up being the reputation of East Kai now.
It has been, yeah. I think that's pretty much the sole reason East Kai is like that now, yeah.
Good job, East Kai.
Well done, East Kai.
Way to go, East Kai.
Squeeze there like, you motherfuckers.
You
I was
all
only
did.
one Kai away last season.
Yeah.
And then the final match is Muscle at Saiyans.
Interesting one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it's alright. I fucking love that Vegeta. He's bloody amazing.
Yeah.
He's phenomenally good.
Yeah, the Scouter Vegeta is incredibly impressive. But Team Muscle also picking it up that week and doing a great job.
Yeah, I think it's more what we expected from them.
Didn't
Right.
Muscle win now?
But
Yes, they did. They did. They won pretty handily.
pretty handily, yeah. Just a bit.
Finished it off with a transformation SS Deadly Bomber. No, I don't think he even had to transform, did he? It was just
no,
an
it was
ultimate.
just an ultimate, yeah.
Yeah, it was just an ultimate SS Deadly Bomber. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it was pretty impressive, and it was really fun watching Nappa and Roshi go at it with all their naked,
Yeah.
manly bodies.
Bring it
Yeah.
on. That's Muscle Roshi.
It was actually great too because they both have their melee on both ends is very slow and powerful.
Yeah.
So it was just like it was literally just watching like 2 people slug the hell out of each other at times.
Oh, dear.
But overall, it was a nice match. The Saiyans went ape a few times, which is always fun to see. Didn't really help them much.
No.
Yeah.
Which it just meant they got hit more. It was a bit of a
Yep.
shame, really.
That's the thing about giants. So annoying and that. Okay, that's all the matches done. I think the rankings are correct. I have been doing them as we've been doing this, and I think they're right.
Do you want to go over them?
Yeah, I'll go over them.
I know
and tell
mine
them.
on here are correct because I basically painstakingly went through and counted every single fucking game.
Well done.
Yeah.
In North Kai, the Super Saiyans reign supreme at 11 and 4. Boo at second place, 9 and 6. Muscle at 7 and 8 in third, and Margin in fourth at 5 and 10.
Dropping down to South Sky.
Well, I think after we do this, we'll also go over the new divisions for next season.
Okay.
And then East Kai, cold, kind of reign supreme, but not as much as the Super Saiyans at 10 and 5.
Actually, they are 3 games ahead of both the androids and Valkyries. So you
Inferior.
get fucked.
Inferior opposition. And then the Valkyries at 7 and 8 are tied with the androids, also at 7 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Rugrats, unfortunately, are last at 3 and 12.
Indeed.
West Kai, the Blades, are top
Nice.
at 9 and 6. The Saiyans second at 7 and 8. Earth Defenders third at 6 and 9, and Ginyu last at 5 and 10. South Kai, Gohans win at 10 and 5. Derp close second at 9 and 6. Namek come third at 8 and 7, and Dragon Ball Warriors come fourth at 6 and 9.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yep, no,
Yep.
that was pretty much perfect.
Then I will edit the post.
I love how you were just waiting to confirm that. Good job.
Yep.
Good job.
And then season 5 divisions.
Mhm.
Now let me just check these are right, because I'm reading off Sith X. Oh, X Sith Spawn
Yep.
X is.
I
Oops.
did check that. The only one I will say that's incorrect about that,
Bowser, not 8 and 7.
one Vals are not 8 and 7. It's not going to be the Valkyries. I did the counting for it. The Valkyries won't be in East Kai next season. The Team Muscle will actually be
Right. Okay.
in East Kai next season. So
Okay.
apart from that, I think it's correct.
This is of
Wow.
course an
She
unofficial.
must only drop down one division. That's actually impressive considering the way they looked halfway through the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Of course, this is an unofficial list, but here at the Zcast, we don't bother making official things until we really
No.
have to. So in
Effort.
North Kai for season 5, we will have the Super Saiyans, then Cold, then Gohans, and then Boo.
Mhm.
In East Kai, we will have the Blades, Team Derp, Namek, and Muscle. In West Kai, we will have androids, Valkyries, Saiyans, and Dragon Ball Warriors. And in South Kai, we will have Earth Defenders, Ginyu, Margin, and Rugrats.
So Squee, that pile of teams to rest your feet on, bit thin, isn't it? How does it feel with the rest of the league? You know, sort of resting their heels on your nose.
We're gonna slaughter everyone in our division.
Yeah, not convinced. Sorry.
You keep doing that while I have the other 15 teams under my feet. Never
Yeah,
stop.
no,
boasting.
the
Never stop.
Super Saiyans. To be fair, with all of that hair sort of lifting them up, aren't that heavy. And we are kind of sharing the burden of keeping them upright with the Gohans, who also have that sort of floaty, spiky hair thing going on. So
Hey,
yeah, I mean, it's
maybe
really
maybe it's
comfortable here at the
Maybelline,
top.
Rebel. Maybe it's Maybelline and not just being a Super Saiyan that makes our hair so luscious and fluffy.
No, I'm not convinced.
No, it's not. It's not
the hair.
Maybelline.
It's
Wow.
the hair.
Well, I'm curious as to how you know so much about our shower interiors and what shampoo we use, but whatever.
Well, King Cold at one point
He
was a
uses
little bit
Maybelline,
obsessed
doesn't he?
about Trunks. He was going through a little bit of a hero phase. He really wanted to know how to get better. Why he was looking at Trunks, I don't actually know, but yeah.
Well, we did kill him. It's one of those things. But yeah, that's season 5, divisions.
Yay!
However, before we get to season 5,
We still have the playoffs.
Wait, what?
yep, Squee, you're not
You've
actually
still
getting
got
like
4 more
5
weeks.
months off. You're
Oh,
actually getting
no.
like less than you're getting about a month off, mate. You've still
No
got like
one
4 weeks to go.
told me.
And that
Yeah,
month
no-
is going to be spent with tutorial videos.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have loads
Yep.
of work to do in between them.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. There's no such thing as rest or sleep for me. No, sir.
Nope, you're not allowed it. You'll be doing stuff with Americans half the day and with Brits the next.
Well, the second half of the day sounds much better.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, you're gonna have
ever
HJK there being
boasting.
pathetic
Can
in
never
one
stop.
corner, and you're
I
gonna have
need
me
to
be
control
there being snarky in the other corner. So yeah, it can't get any better.
Okay, I have all the things for the. Well, at least I think I do. I had all the things for the playoffs somewhere. Oh, I have two of
We're
them.
just gonna go through the playoff round one first, or how are we gonna do this?
Well, yeah, we're just gonna.
You know what? Actually, first let's how about we go into an explanation of how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposedly the commissioner of the leagues. Go ahead. Floor's yours.
Okay then. So here's the way for most anyone who's new to the Zcast. The way the playoffs work is a bit differently than the rest of the season, and by what I mean by that is that Earth Defenders win. It's pretty simple. We like to keep it simple. It's easy to understand. No.
What's strange is though that the Earth Defenders have never actually gotten to the Super Bowl. It's weird.
That's how.
Have they even gotten to the semi-finals ever? I don't remember.
See, last season was a bit of a fluke because they didn't actually make it to the playoffs, which means they couldn't win every match.
What about the 2 seasons we had before, or the season we had before then? Actually, no, the 2 seasons we had before then. What happened? What happened then?
I don't recall those ever taking place.
At Squee, we have video footage of that. I've changed the password on the account that is, so you can't get in and delete it all.
No, you shanghaied my channel.
Yup.
Curses. Okay, so the way it's going to work is, first of all, kind of like the preseason, we will be having all 5 team members compete every match. So there won't be any more rotations. Rotations are the main season only. They're not involved in the postseason. So you're going to have the full brunt of every team. You're going to have 5 on 5. And it's going to be best out of 3, meaning each team has to win twice to advance to the next round. The idea of it being that, of course, there's always a random element to the league. Always a random element to the league. But by making it best out of 3, you reduce it a little bit, and you help weed out. You kind of help decide really which teams deserve to go on and which ones don't. You can never say that with 100% certainty, but it's a lot better than just a one-on-one.
It really sounds like you're trying to put an argument to the Star Forum, and you're just trying to block me from saying anything. It's like, yeah, I know
Rebel
this is the
Squeeze
case,
speaking.
but I'm kind of blocking this out. You know, I've already kind of counted this. I'm sitting there going, oh, for fuck's sake, I can't say anything. God damn it.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, you can counter it, but I mean that is the reason for the best.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Yeah. I mean, if anything, it is certainly more of a spectacle.
Right. Full disclosure, that's the theory.
That's the theory. In practice, it doesn't actually work out, but we like to pretend it does.
Nothing ever does. That's the fun.
Apart from my plans. My plans are always foolproof.
Where were you?
I
Second?
saw 2 characters dance with each other for 30 seconds this season. I don't think anything could be put past the league.
No,
Yeah.
no, I agree.
Anyway, how do the playoffs work?
No, that was
Finished
pretty
doing
much.
that?
That was pretty much it. It was
let me go into the since every team that made first place in their division gets a bye week. What'll happen is week 1 of the playoffs will be second and third place teams. In other words, the 2 that made it but didn't make it to the first seed will face each other.
Yep.
Then the next week, the winner of that match will then face the number 1 seed team that got the bye week. And then at that point, you'll have a champion of each division, and you'll have 4 teams left. The third week of the playoffs will only have 2 matches, or 2 matchups, is what I should say, which is the winner of North and East Kai face off, and the winner of South and West Kai face off, until you get.
So basically, Cold versus Super Saiyans, Blade versus Gohan. That's probably how it's going to go, right?
I thought it was picked randomly because of the skill difference in the league.
I was actually just listing names. I'm not actually saying that that's exactly right. We do choose randomly because we don't want it to be like, end up.
Actually,
What's the word?
I think after this season, you can't pick a best. Like, in all seriousness, this season has been like so phenomenally good that is pretty much not not happening.
We will probably, before the actual playoffs start, we will randomly select which divisions will face off against which divisions. But we won't have to worry about that until the third week of the playoffs when we get to the semifinals. And then eventually you'll have 2 teams left, and those are the ones that will go on to the Tenkaichi Bowl spectacle, is what I'm going to call it, the spectacle.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to more in a few weeks.
We'll get to it more once we figured everything out.
So yeah,
Still working on that one. We're still getting the king side out now.
So for the first week of the playoffs, the actual matchups will be.
Okay. No, I'm doing it. I got the pictures. Sorry.
Oh, I love doing this to HJK.
Ow.
Sorry, what?
It's alright, I've actually turned him down. So
I'm
it's okay.
completely calm. North Sky playoffs. They're going to be Booze versus Muscle. They're going to play, and the winner will fight the Super Saiyans in the quarterfinals.
So,
Who do you think are going to
Boo
win?
versus Muscle is going to be a really bloody interesting one.
Yeah.
Since Kid Boo can't use that build anymore, fucking A. Boo's
Yeah.
going to have to find out something pretty quickly, actually. It's going to be interesting. I think Muscle's probably the stronger team out of that. I hate saying it. I really don't want Muscle to win, but yeah.
I would agree. However, now whether
Don't put
this
anything
is,
past the fucking Boos, jeez.
Well, what I was going to say is whether this is misdirection or not. The coach of the Boos was like, you know what? It's fine that we can't use that build anymore because we weren't going to anyway.
It's fine, we can't use that build. It doesn't fucking matter whether it's fine or not, you're not using it.
No, but the point is that unless it's misdirection, they found something better, or what they feel is better than what they were
Yeah.
already using.
Yeah.
So,
Admittedly, this is the Booze who could just put any build on them, and they
And
have done
still
so.
destroy
and
everything.
Still win, yeah.
But, yeah, no, I still think Muscle
those were fun
technically
days.
at the minute are the stronger team. I'm still not a fan of the lack of changing things. They've just about managed to squeak it, so you know, can't be too bad.
Are we going to do bets on this, or are we just going to put down our...
I'm just gonna say who I
Favorites.
think is gonna win.
Yeah, and I think
Gonna
with it's the postseason, and it's not the betting's done.
Fair enough. I will say that... It's funny, I kind of have a bit of a vested interest because I don't want Ireland to win, but that's not going to happen.
I want it to be a draw. I want to face the worst of the Boos combined with the worst of Muscle.
I'll just fight.
I'll just fight Oop several times over.
That'd be
Like
pretty-
just Oop against the entirety of the Super Saiyans twice.
Oob and Garlic Jr.
Yeah, nice.
I would say that...
Garlic Jr. rips your team limb from them.
Yeah, I know, right? He chooses that moment to.
Yeah.
To just excel.
To just
yeah.
grab all the time. He just choke slams Vegeta to death.
I think Boo
yeah.
is going to win.
Okay.
Yes. Squeak?
Squee.
I think Boo is going to win as well.
Okay. Right then, next one.
The next division playoffs is East Kai with Androids fighting the Valkyries, and the winner going on to fight Team Cold in the quarterfinals.
Androids Valkyries, eh? Interesting one.
Oh, they're like... Oh. Think about
I don't
Androids
know.
and Valkyries. They've actually got quite a rivalry between them. I think
Yeah,
last
they have
season they were in the
got
same
this.
division and they were like even as well. Was that
Yeah, they were. If they weren't even, they were incredibly close.
Mm.
Plus the whole brother sister thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that as well.
Yeah.
I still think, despite the fact that the Vals won the regular season match, I still think the Androids are a better team. And for the simple fact that I think the Androids will have been testing more and looking at their options more, I think the Androids are going to win.
I would agree that Androids have probably got the better advantage in terms of builds and looking at that and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about the Valkyries is they are, at the moment, they've been slightly inconsistent. When they don't perform, they really don't perform. But when they do perform, they're pretty much...
Bearing in mind that you do have to remember that this is, it's best 2 out of 3, so they might
It
win
is.
one on that kind of stellar performance, but they have to keep it up. And the fact is that we've seen those amazing performances combined with those awful performances with the same builds.
Yeah.
So those builds themselves aren't actually consistent. So Who knows?
That's true. In that case, I'll probably say androids. They have more endurance, I'd say.
I'm actually going to say Valves for one reason. No. I've proven before that I will pick a team that I don't love just because I think they'll actually win. I think that many of the victories of the androids came down to the ability to drain health. And 2 members of the Vals are completely immune to that. And if the Vals play their cards right, they can almost shut down the androids' abilities to drain health from them. If they play their cards right, and if they honestly, what I'm saying is, if the Vals can neutralize the element for the androids to gain health through grabs, I think they can win the match. And if 17 doesn't go on a bloody rampage.
Yeah, I was going to say, if 17 doesn't go on a bloody rampage, if Cell doesn't transform a billion times and do what we know he can do, then the Valkyries have certainly got an advantage, but even then, I'm sorry.
It should be a really good match.
It is going to be a phenomenally good match, yeah.
Well, it better be. No pressure. It's got to be now. Or it's not being broadcast.
No, absolutely.
The next division is West Kai.
Not important.
Wow. And the Saiyans will be fighting the Earth Defenders, the winner will go on to face the Blades in the quarterfinals.
I'll start first, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think the Saiyans are the stronger team right now. Because here's the thing. We've got 2 really good characters and 3 not so good characters, and the Saiyans have a solid lineup. They've got freaking Spammer, McGee over there in Vegeta Scouter. They've got Bardock with his ultimates of amazingness. Turles, who's been a surprisingly good character this season. King Vegeta, and Nappa. But plus the ability to go ape. And quite frankly, my team the past several weeks, with the exception of Krillin and Goku, have been nothing spectacular. And despite our best efforts, I mean, Chaozu. What the hell, man?
I'm thinking more
Yamcha with all those rush blasts last match. Go Yamcha.
So while I have great hope for my team, and my team is actually working really, really hard this week to try and squeeze every last ounce of our Earth Defenders that we can, and I really hope that the Earth Defenders will end up surprising everyone.
Yeah, they haven't got the biggest players. There aren't many ounces to get.
If I had to say who's the underdog, I'd have to say the Earth Defenders.
I agree. I think the Saiyans are a better team. I think the Saiyans are going to win.
Yeah, I agree. Saiyans.
It's the first time we've agreed so far.
The underdogs to beat the living crap out of everyone.
Nope.
If they go ape, and Chaozu's the last one left.
I don't think, in all honesty, even discounting ape form, I still think the Saiyans are a better team.
I will point out though that the last time the Earth Defenders were in the playoffs, they scared the holy crap out of Team Cold.
They did give Cold a little bit of a run for their money in one of their matches, yes.
A little bit. I believe your exact words were, scared the piss out of me.
Those I can neither confirm nor deny such words passing my lips. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I think that the Earth Defenders have actually had...
they've had good luck, despite the fact that they've never actually got anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
that kind of steps up about 8 notches this season.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't.
Next division is the final division, called South Kai. The players will be Derp versus Namek, and they will go on to fight... the winner will go on to fight the Gohans in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, this is a really difficult one to call. I think Derp's got the better team, and I think Derp's going to win. But, the Nameks, if they perform like they did against the Super Saiyans, then fuck. It's anyone's game.
Yep. I honestly, I'm with that. I don't know. It's Derp is a better team, but if King Piccolo comes out there and starts being consistent, if late Piccolo throws out even 2 successful light grenades, as
I said in some of the other games, it's a best 2 out of 3, so that has to be a consistent thing, and they've shown over the past few weeks, as I said with Valkyries, that they haven't been hugely consistent. They have been consistently scary though, so we'll see. As I said, I still think Derp's better, but
I think Namek's going to win. I think if they're going to win against anyone in these playoffs, it'll be Derp.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't think Derp has quite the damage output that Namek can have.
I don't know if I'd agree with that per se. I think Derp's damage output, with the exception of Dodoria and Supreme Kai, is more long term. Namek deals more in spike damage, I think.
Yeah, I agree, but well, saying that, you can't really say that King Piccolo's damage by taking out 3 players was not a long-term damage.
No, but he tended to do it quite quickly and quite brutally. You know, it wasn't as if it wasn't like it was a Raccoon slugfest. It was a case of, you know, lots of moves very, very quickly.
I know what you mean, yeah. I still think Namek will probably be in with a good chance. But
I am actually going to go for Derp, but it's so close. So close. I'm going to go for Derp simply because I think that there's a high likelihood that Dodoria will get a massive lead at the start, and it'll be really difficult for the Nameks to catch up.
Yeah.
Because I think, honestly, no matter who they put against Dodoria is going to be brutal.
Yeah, Dodoria is a very good player, fair play. They have done some amazing things. So.
yeah, they've actually won. They got a positive win-loss rating for one thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As do the Nameks, actually.
Yeah, good job, Namek. Yeah. And that's it for the playoffs.
Same can't be said for Muscle, Androids, Valkyries, Saiyans, or Earth Defenders, but you know.
Nope.
Details.
Details. Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for the playoffs. So it's time to move on to the questions from the
Actually,
viewers.
can we take a quick break for just 1 second?
Sure.
I'll be right back.
Ready.
Okay,
Ready.
sorry about that. Go.
Next is the questions from the viewers.
Question number 1. Will HJK ever stop that dumb singing? No.
Nope. No, he will not.
No, he will not.
The first question by Hypermat37, and this is his first post. Hi.
No.
This is the best place to ever post
Wrong
from.
Wrong place.
No.
It's you start with Vindicated on August 3rd.
Oh my god, we have that many questions?
Mm-hmm.
Get out. Okay. Hang on, Hypermat. We'll get you to it. We'll get to it. Vindicator57 asks, with as little bias as possible. Now that we're at the end of the season, who is your favourite to win the Tenkaichi Bowl?
Super Saiyans.
Squeen?
Super Saiyans.
Super. I don't know.
I think that there's a really good chance that they'll be the first team to win 2 championships.
In a row.
Yep.
Sorry.
Well, just 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Full stop, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like 2 records with 1 stone.
I got to get him all making like.
Well, yeah. So I think that they're the favorite. Now, I'm not saying that means they have an overwhelming chance of winning. Just that they have the highest percentage of all the teams, I would think.
Yeah, no, yeah.
We can do it, guys. I don't know really. I don't really want to say my team in case they don't and I jinx it.
Team Cole.
Yes, because words actually affect the outcome of that.
You don't know. You don't know.
You do the commentary, Squee. You know how it works.
Yes, but that's when you're in the match.
Listen,
Super
this
Scorpion doesn't
is
start until the match does.
this is HJK. You know how incompetent he is.
What's in Okay.
So you know who knows what kind of a negative effect his words would have on anybody. I mean, really.
Anyway, counting my team out, which does not mean I don't think we'll win, but it also does not mean I think we'll win. The favourite to win the Tenkaichi Bowl is probably the Gohans, actually.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that, but yeah, I can see that.
Okay, cool. Second question. Have you considered doing a live Zcast using something like Twitch? Would you allow the viewers... I'm not finished. Would you allow the viewers to ask questions through the chat feature or any feature you did anything besides... if you did anything besides Twitch?
We did.
We did. No one participated.
Thanks,
Well, we did and nobody participated. Also, the other thing is, I can't stream it because my internet's too shit. HTK's internet's temperamental. I'm actually surprised you've managed to stay on for... How long has this call been going for? Like, nearly,
Yes.
like over an hour and a half. I'm amazed your internet's actually held out for that.
It's going
long,
through a bit
HTK.
of a stormy spell. I mean...
Yeah, like you just dropping on me at fucking drop of a hat, you bastard.
But
I bet you do
we
it
thought
deliberately.
we thought we'd try it once. We streamed it. We had people there.
Well,
it wasn't like no one was
yeah.
there. It's just no one was asking questions. We were like, anyone? Really?
It's because my
No
voice
one?
is so enchanting. They couldn't.
Bueller?
They were
Bueller?
drooling at their keyboard.
So the answer
We
is
have considered it. We think it's a
probably
bad
not.
idea to begin with, and it didn't work out when we tried it. So yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Just post your questions.
Just
here.
post your questions. It's easier.
It's
We don't
nice.
have to fuck around with actually getting a time.
And plus, you
sticking
don't. You wouldn't get music if you had it like instant. So, why would you know on that?
to it.
Anyway,
Actually,
next
you know, we
question.
should stream it.
next question by Private C Ryan or Cryan, because technically the Ryan doesn't have a capital R, so I'm going to call
Yeah.
you Cryan.
No, others. Yeah.
What?
You missed
what-
the numbers, HJK.
The numbers don't matter. Apart from in HJK 561. What would be recommended for the Wugwats to be better?
Who's been drinking?
What would you do? And what are your opinions on Gotenks? Worth it or not? Okay, so we'll split this to two. First is what would be recommended for the Rugrats to be better? What would you do?
Win more games.
Wow.
First, I would suggest never, ever, ever take GT Goku off a melee build.
No.
Never, ever.
I don't know. I think that's a bit too much, but yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, but I mean, I think that the melee build was really successful for them. Honestly, it's hard because here's the problem with the Rugrats, and I think you guys mentioned this last week. It's not like they weren't trying; they worked so hard on their team, and it's almost like I look at Trunks and I look at Goten, and it's not like they're horrible performers. I don't know what you could do with those two. You definitely need to work on Cybermen. You definitely need to work getting on Cell Jr. more consistent. But GT Goku, Goten, and Trunks were great. They really were. But
I think it's more of a case of when they decided not to perform, it was just at bad times for you guys,
right.
more than anything.
I would say that what could they do to get their team better? Find a way to make Cybermen and Cell Jr. work. If you can find that, you're going to be a really strong team.
Agreed.
I
And
don't know
also
if
think about melee an awful lot, and certainly melee and combos for the Rugrats. Just because your players are kids and their attacks are very, very quick. So that kind of, making a melee for 4 or 5 characters is very, very difficult. But something along those lines may certainly be worth considering for each character, and then seeing which of those characters is actually the best at it.
I don't know if you've already done this, so I'm going to say it anyway. I mean, Cyberman, you could make him like a tank if you wanted. If you wanted my ideas to what
There's
you would do with
potential,
him.
yeah.
Just make him a tank. Make him
Make
because
him a
that,
suicide bomber.
You could also actually look at although this is a big part for the Rugrats, is maybe not focusing on clashes quite as much, because a lot of the builds are like you have like 2 Dragon Powers and 2 Power of Rages, which are very, very good and have worked quite well for them, but it's still 2 and 3 points that could be used in other things potentially. So while they have worked quite well for you guys in the past and you've gotten some good damage off them, not sure it's entirely the best solution.
I would say, that it would probably be much better for you to really look at your team and see who gets in the clashes the most and focus on just them.
problem is with their team. I think every single character has a Rush B2.
Yes, but
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
all of them get consistently into clashes. Maybe more than other teams, but like I said, there's always going to be 1 or 2 that's almost always in a clash, and concentrate on giving them the points, and use points on the other ones for other things.
But even then, losing the clashes, with the exception of beam struggles, which are reasonably few and far between,
Right.
the damage in them is about, half a health bar to less than half a health bar. It's not always game changing unless there are quite a few of them in a row without any sort of answer between them. So whilst they're certainly useful for those little bits and certainly the setups for big moves, they may not be as effective as some other Pataras would be for you.
Okay, that's cool. And then the second part is, what are your opinions on Gotenks? Worth it or not?
Nope. You have
No.
Trunks and Goten who are phenomenally good players, and Gotenks who... Nah.
Isn't it? You can't
as
test
much,
it.
as much as I
No.
love
Not
Gotenks, I love the fusion. Gotenks, not only does Gotenks not really fuse at the best of times, they just pick wrong times to fuse, or they just choose not to fuse at all. But even when they do fuse, he just doesn't perform as well as Trunks or Goten, either of them.
Yeah. And the problem is, then you also lose the tag out. You use 2 things.
Yeah.
You lose the tag out ability, and you also lose the diversity of your build.
I mean, you could argue a strength of a fusion character is that you combine two builds, but you're not allowed to do that. So
Yeah,
there's really
that's
no
part,
apart from,
that's part of the fiction.
unless you want the extra health instantly. There's no extra
And
health
then you get,
instantly.
and then even then, with a correct tag out or even just a basic tag out, you get more of a bonus for it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
especially if you have something like Savior.
Yeah.
Or something
And,
to
and,
figure
and
out.
since we have a lot of new viewers, it might be worth pointing out why they're not allowed to combine builds. But
Oh, yeah.
to simply put, OP. You could put Halo on one guy and Style of the Strong on the other, and Eternal Life on the other.
Savior on one of them, Super plus one on the other, and suddenly you have someone who does, just base 5 billion damage with an ultimate.
Yeah,
It's
it would be
insane.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they're not allowed to do that. I mean, seriously, like I could just off the top of my head, you could put Eternal Life, you could put Super plus 2, Super plus 1, Halo, Savior, and imagine they fuse and you have that kind of character.
Yeah, that would be way overpowered.
Insane.
Don't give anything away, HTK.
Next question. Oh, I think not worth it, probably. Next question by Hypermat37. Your number's important
No,
because this is your first.
wait. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you. It's your first post. Welcome to the forums. Your question.
Now get out! No.
Yeah. I was just waiting to see was it going to be me or Squee who was reading first?
The question
Sorry,
is,
go ahead.
I'll read the whole thing out because I think it's all one question. Is how are the divisions going to be done for season 5? If it's done the same way you're doing tiebreakers, then this looks to be season 5's divisions, which we've already gone through, I think. And then he says, and if this assumption is accurate, then what are you all's opinions on how the divisions have changed?
Of how the divisions have changed.
Yeah, right, let me mean.
I needed to pick on something.
Wow. Go on.
Okay.
We've already covered how the divisions are going to be done for season 5. The tiebreaker system, same as we do it for the other one, for partly consistency's sake and partly for fairness' sake as well.
Mhm.
That was a staff debate that was quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. As to how the divisions have changed, North Kai, I'm not surprised at. Not really surprised at all. The rest of them, good fucking lord. It's like, seriously? Margins in Ginyu Force and Rugrats in South Kai? Not surprised the Earth Defenders in South Kai, but seriously?
Ouch.
Margins in South Kai?
Ouch. All of my
Derp in
feels.
East Kai? Namek in East Kai? The fuck?
Gohan's
like-
in North Kai?
I'm not that surprised about that.
I think we said this in the preseason. I expected the Gohans to get out of South Kai. I did not expect them to go to North Kai.
Teen Gohan just wanted to come back. What can I comment? Sorry.
I think
Watch season 6. They're right back in South Kai.
that would be funny. Yeah.
It's like, that was fun. That was a nice excursion.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny actually.
You're not going back there, I swear.
But yeah, like North Kai, I'm not surprised at how that's changed. That, whilst not entirely expected, I'm not surprised in the slightest that it's gone that way. The rest of them, especially like Margins and South Kai, and like even Dragon Ball Warriors, Namek and Derp, despite how well they've done and the fact that we expected them to improve, I was still doubtful that they would get out of South Kai. The fact that 2 of those teams are in East Kai, and the fact that Dragon Ball Warriors have gotten out of South Kai, I'm gobsmacked. That is fantastic for them.
I mean, the question from me, judging by how the divisions were so radically, unexpectedly, like, not what we thought. I mean, with North Kai really not performing as a whole, and South Kai doing pretty well,
Yeah.
considering. Do you think that'll be the same next season?
No, I don't.
Do you expect them to stay to their stereotypical Kais, so to speak?
I don't know. It's a lot more difficult to tell now. I think if things carry, it depends. It's like if things carry on the way they are, in terms of like improvements and a lot of little things change, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Valkyries drop down another one, just for the fact that they haven't changed. I wouldn't be surprised to see Muscle drop down another one if they don't change their stuff. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dragon Ball Warriors stay where they are. Margins, again, I wouldn't be surprised to see them stay where they are if they don't change. Rugrats, if they can work out their players, I can see them getting back into East Kai, no problem. But for most things, given how this season's gone, and even with like the minor changes I expect to happen next season, I wouldn't be surprised to see the divisions stay exactly as they are this season. Like, I wouldn't be overly surprised. I'd be surprised in a way, but not. It wouldn't, like, for the win-loss records going the same sort of way, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I would say there is going to be a huge difference. Is that this season we had 7-point builds, and that changed a lot. It changed. It was game changers for for whole entire teams.
Yeah.
So that partly contributes to why divisions are so different or so surprising to us, but only partly. I would say that, next season, now that we've all had a season to get used to 7-point builds, we all know how they work now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think that you're going to much most likely to see such drastic changes. I expect changes, but I expect slow, gradual changes, not huge, oh my god, who's in what now?
Yeah, no,
kind of
absolutely.
changes.
I agree.
Okay, cool.
Ishige?
Well, that was my question to you, so I don't really know the answer. And then the final question by Gray is that, now that the final week before the playoffs has passed, in the opinion of those present, who is overall MVP of each team based on your standards of performance? Each team, every single team.
It shouldn't be too difficult to go through each of them.
Right, okay. Let me
We'll
find
just start with North Kai and go down, I suppose.
Yeah.
Alright,
Listen, HJK, we know you like to make those really high-pitched whiny noises. You don't need to mute your microphone whenever you start doing
I feel
them.
like I have.
It's a natural phenomenon, we understand, and we will only take the piss out of you because of it. Good, he's muted his microphone permanently now. No, seriously, HJK.
Yes.
Right, there we go.
Yes.
Get started.
Yes. Yes.
North Kai first.
Sorry, I said it out of screaming. North Kai. Super Saiyans.
And Vegeta.
Based on this season, and Vegeta, of course. I will point out, though, that I think Adult Gohan settled in quite well.
Yeah,
I'm
he
pleased
is
with
done.
it. In fact,
he's done
so
very
Super
nicely.
Vegeta, to be fair, but Super Vegeta was in it before. Adult Gohan's brand new to the team, and I think he's done pretty well here. But in terms of MVP, I'd say Vegeta. However, this does not guarantee who we're putting in the MVP tournament. Understand?
Yeah.
Sneaky android.
Squee?
Next. Oh yeah, of course.
I would agree that it probably in Vegeta. Even Ascended Vegeta had his moments, but consistency.
Yeah, he's only
in
gone two in the
Vegeta.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take it you're N Vegeta as well, Rebel.
Yeah.
Did you say? So
I did say, I said like End Vegeta basically immediately.
Right, good. I was just double checking.
Okay.
Next is Boo.
I
Who
don't know.
could
Does it
this
count
be?
that Kid Boo had an illegal build for half the season? I don't know. If that's the case, then yeah, Kid Boo. If not, Kid Boo.
Yeah, Kid Buu either way. It's going to be Kid Buu either way, because he didn't have that build the whole season, but he was spectacular pretty much every time he stepped on the field. So
Pretty much, yeah.
I think there was one time that I can think of the team shut him down, and that was just the android. It might have happened earlier in the season, and I'm not thinking of it, but if there's only one time during a whole season that you can think, man, that guy was shut down, then that's MVP material right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boo, definitely. Been phenomenal. Every time I think of him, I'm just like, whoa, what a power. Anyway, next team. By the way, I meant next team, Muscle.
Muscle, I have to say Bojack. 13's been okay. He's been shut down a few times. Bojack has been consistently, like, at least 20k, pretty much whenever he steps out. There's been times where he hasn't been, but Bojack.
Yeah, I would say definitely not 13. He's been kind of underwhelming this season. Obviously not Garlic Jr., obviously not Broly. I would say Brojack, but
Brojack.
completely surprising me. A close second would be Master Roshi.
I don't think Roshi would be second, not for me, but he's done alright.
I think he's been way more consistent than Broly has. He's done more damage than Broly has.
Yeah, I agree. I just think
So
13 would be
that's all-
second. I think 13's been more consistent.
I don't know. I keep thinking back, and I keep thinking of 13 really not being 13.
No, I think no, he has been 13. No, he's definitely been 13. He's not been the devastating monster we come to expect, and I think that's been contributing to him kind of being in the shadows a little bit. But no, he's definitely been 13.
I would say Bojack as well. I mean, I've been watching him a lot recently, and he does do ultimates instantly. He's
Yeah.
really good with his ultimates. He's one of those characters where you can just almost guarantee 70% of the time he'll hit with his ultimate pretty quickly.
Agreed.
And that's definitely a player that you want on your team. So I'm going to say Bojack. And then finally, Margin.
I don't know. I don't know. Either Marjube or Margin Vegeta. Marjube, I think. Marjube. Actually, no, I take that back. Margin Vegeta. Margin Vegeta.
I'm actually going to go pretty strongly Majube. Majin Vegeta has been consistent, but Majube has been jaw-dropping.
Yeah,
I mean,
not always.
there's been no, not always, but the simple fact that, I mean, I can think of several times where I was just utterly amazed by Majube's performance. He's the only person in the league that I know of that actually locked a character down with B2s. Threw them out so fast and so consistently that Garlic Jr. could not get to him.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a character do that before, and it's not like he only did it once in a while. He was very consistent.
He was
I mean, I only realised this recently as well. I didn't realise until like I didn't realise for a while that he was any good. To be honest, I always think Margin Vegeta. Yeah, that's the damage dealer. But then you take a look at Margin for a while and you think, my goodness, how does he keep throwing those bodies out? And then the lightning arrow. Oh my god, look at the lightning arrow. Oh my god.
Japan saw it.
I think a lot of people saw it, to be fair. They didn't see anything else afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would actually agree with Margin.
No, I don't disagree with that. I still think Margin Vegeta's better.
That's fine, it's fine. East Guy, Cold.
Frieza, pretty much. I mean, really, there's been no other player that's been quite as consistent and quite as game-changing as Frieza has. You know, like, pretty much instantly against the Super Saiyans, yeah, that was phenomenal. But throughout the season, it's been kind of the same. Other players on Cold have certainly been impressive. You know, Mecha Frieza's certainly been good. King Cold's been phenomenal compared to how he's been in the past. But Frieza has just been amazing.
I have to go with that too. I think Mecha Frieza has been pretty good, but 9 times out of 10, when you see Team Cold start to pull away, it's usually because of Frieza.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Mecha Frieza is I don't think he's anywhere near as scary as he was like last
When
season.
he used to throw out ultimates constantly.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. It's just form to Frieza, I guess, because he can transform all the time. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Next is the Valkyries.
18, I think, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 18, maybe Fasha. I would say that a lot of the Valkyries have been more, but I think 18 is probably still their star.
Oh,
And Aurelie, to be honest, Aurelie, while very, impressive and very devastating this season, not as devastating as in past seasons. She was kind of in the background this season.
Yeah, she was good, but meh.
Yeah, exactly. Good, but not Demon Child.
Yeah, I'd actually say that Fasha was MVP now. I don't think 18's been anywhere near as good as she can be this season.
Not just, I do agree that since she stopped throwing out sadistic 18s like she used to.
Well, I mean, I can't really think of a time where anyone's... I might not be thinking, but I can't think of a time anyone's completely just wiped the floor with Fasha, to be honest.
No, there have been a few times.
What?
Krillin did pretty well against Fasha.
No, he did not.
No.
He got his butt
Did
trounced
he?
by Fasha. Oh my god, it was
in that case,
brutal.
I am completely misremembering.
Yeah, it was brutal, man.
Yeah, good
Alright,
job, Fasha.
I don't remember Fasha being
Don't get me wrong,
hugely
I'd love
impressive.
to forget that.
No, I'm sure. Like coming, yeah. No, I wouldn't expect you to forget that. But no, I don't recall Fasha being hugely impressive. I remember 18 being pretty good every time she came out. So.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
I would say that either one's good. I'm probably going with 18 a little bit more because I think that 18. How to put this? I think Fasha and 18 did well. I think 18's performances usually tended to be more vital than Fasha's. So.
Yeah, but Fash usually started.
Right, but what? Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I think they're about even. I'm thinking my opinion is just colored by the fact that it seemed a lot more that matches pivoted on 18's performance.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Next team is the Android. Oh, that's an interesting one, you know.
Probably 17, but Jiro comes a close second, with Eta bringing up a close third.
Yeah, actually, I would agree with that completely.
I haven't really been watching the Androids that much this season, so I'd agree with that. But I will also point out how bad it's, well, not badly, but how less scary Cell's been as of late.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
I remember
He still
him
has
in
the
the
potential
preseason.
to be fucking terrifying, but he just hasn't shown it.
Yeah, I remember him in the preseason against us. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty clearly done. Next, Rugrats.
GT Goku.
Yep. Hands down.
Yep,
Mhm.
agreed. Trunks comes reasonably close second, actually, fair play, but GT Goku definitely.
This season, yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Next team, the Blades.
Tapion.
Yeah, it's a Tapion.
I mean,
think
the
so.
whole of the Blades have been really good. I mean, Sword Trunks has been phenomenal quite a lot of the time. Cyborg Tao has been really,
Yeah,
really good.
Jirobi. It's been really good.
Yeah, Jirobi's been good, yeah, and so has Jinimba. So yeah, the
I'd
whole
say-
the whole of the Blades have done quite well, but Tapion's definitely their MVP.
Oh, I'd be more tempted to say Sword Trunks, but maybe my just forgetting stuff.
I think that Sword Trunks was most impressive at the beginning of the season.
He's
And
been
then
most
he
impressive
kinda
when he's had
tapered out.
started the strong and done ultimates. That's when he's been really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Apart from that, he ain't not that great.
I don't know, maybe my opinion just colours with, again, or I'm forgetting things.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been it's been more than 15 weeks, so we do forget things.
Yeah.
It's
Some of us do. I don't.
Oh,
Next
you just
team.
fucking said you did.
Saiyans. Then the next team.
Scouter Vegeta.
Yeah, Scouter Vegeta.
Arguably the best starter in the entire league right now, with the exception of End Vegeta.
He is.
I-
He's not consistent starter. So
I would actually say for consistency and damage dealt, I would say Krillin's on his level, but the two when they faced off, no, actually they did pretty well against each other when they faced off. So, but yes, definitely one of, if not the best starters. in the league.
I would still say the best.
Well, you'd be wrong.
I'll say.
Don't you fucking question me. This is my show.
I have.
I'm the one editing this thing.
Next team is Earth's Defenders.
Chaozu.
The end.
Yeah,
Yamcha with that rush blast
don't
build. That was
actually.
God.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I don't actually know. Probably Krillin. But I don't know. All of the Earth Defenders have had their moments of being quite good, and then their moments of being absolutely abysmal.
Actually, I would argue that there has not really been a moment this season where Krillin has been absolutely abysmal. Every other member of my
you
team.
just told
sure.
me he got his ass kicked by Fasha. I'd say that was pretty
Yes,
abysmal.
but that didn't mean he was abysmal. It meant he was kicking his ass. There's a difference between not getting a chance to do something and standing there and
No.
doing nothing.
In this league, you make your own chances. You have no excuses, Squee. You're not making enough of an effort.
Okay, let me rephrase that. There is a difference between derping out and doing nothing and then just not being able to perform up to the same level of what you're fighting. There are differences. There are times where I'll look at someone and I'll say, okay, they got their butt kicked, but they were trying and they were doing well. They just didn't do as good as the other person. And then there's times where they stood there and did nothing.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
for me, I usually just see them as both. I usually scream at my computer.
Yeah, HK doesn't have no
So
self-control.
I would say it'd be either between Krillin or Goku. That's for certain. But I don't think Goku's been as consistent as Krillin, to be fair.
No.
So I'd say Krillin was one.
I would say it's very easily Krillin because, with very, very few exceptions, he was very good every week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Goku.
I would say 80% of our matches we started off with a strong lead, and we would lose it really quickly. But Krillin would pretty much beat every single person he went up against, with the exception of Fasha and maybe one or two others.
I'd agree.
Can't
Who did you pick,
disagree.
Rebel?
I picked Krillin.
Cool. Next team is Ginyu.
Probably Jace.
I think Jace. Either Jace or Berta. I don't think Raccoon's been quite
Raccoon's
spectacular.
not been as scary as he has been in
Really,
previous
yeah.
seasons. Yeah.
He keeps trying to throw people into places he doesn't do any damage.
Yeah.
It's experimenting. Experimental phase. But yeah, I'd say Jace, actually. I'd say Jace.
Yep.
I think he just deals more damage than Berta in the end.
Double spam.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Double
lots
spam.
of red
Yeah,
things.
there was a long period of time where he threw B2s out as package deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Buy one, get one free. And you buy them with your face's blood.
I would go Jace as well.
Okay. And next team in South High is Gohan.
That's actually a really difficult one. I'm
Yeah, I know.
gonna say Kid Gohan. Because that little bastard is frightening.
I would say Future Gohan.
Squeeze probably gonna go Saiyan.
Yeah, probably.
Called it!
It's quite tricky, actually.
It
They've
is
all
very
been
tricky.
doing
All of the
really well.
Gohans have been very, very good, yeah.
Funnily enough, Team Gohan is in any of our three.
Yeah. Teen Gohan wasn't even on my mind when I said that.
No, same. It was only on my mind in the fact that I wouldn't pick him.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither Ultimate Gohan either. But the truth is, like you guys were saying, I would say that Team Gohan and Ultimate Gohan were strong players this season.
Oh,
Just
they were
not,
definitely strong. Just
not
not
as
as
strong as the other three. Yeah,
Yeah. Next team, Derp.
they were beaten by a kid.
Yeah.
Salza.
Yeah. Salva. I would definitely agree. Salva.
I think Midori is a very, very close second, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, it's hard to choose between Midoriya and Salza. I would also say Salza because he has a lot of last stands that were really good.
Yeah.
He's been, yeah.
Bit difficult for a starter to have last stands, but yeah.
Yeah.
The next team is Namek.
Nail.
Yeah.
Demon King Piccolo.
Demon King Piccolo.
Demon King Piccolo.
Okay, next team.
Dragon Ball Warriors.
Grandpa Gohan.
I don't think know very much about Dragon Ball Warriors, to be fair.
Neither do
Yeah,
I, but
you know
Grandpa
what?
Gohan was good at the start of the season.
You
Nam's
know
been
what?
okay since then, but Grandpa Gohan.
No, actually, I'm gonna go Grandpa Gohan too. Nam has had moments where he was phenomenal. General Tao, the past 2 weeks, has been a frickin' steamroller. But Grandpa Gohan has been consistent the entire season.
Agreed.
Yeah. Which is
yeah.
funny because we were at the beginning of the season, we were like, "What are you thinking,
Yeah.
Grandpa Gohan? Really?"
Yup.
Oh, the irony. Yeah, I'd say Grandpa Gohan as well. And that's all the teams, and that's the first question from Grade done.
Nice.
And the second question is also, now that the divisions are sorted for next season, how shocked would you have been at the beginning of the season about the divisions for season 5?
Generally, I would have been surprised, but I don't know. It depends. Like just the divisions themselves, I would have been reasonably surprised, but not too gobsmacked about. If you also then added in, like, if you turned around to me and said, okay, well, Muscle barely changes anything for the entire season, Margins barely changed anything for the entire season, Valkyrie's barely changed anything for the entire season, then I would have said, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, not really surprised. Because, like, with the exception of Derp and Namek coming up those two ranks, and Margins going down those 3 ranks, yeah, not all that surprised.
God, Margin really did fall, didn't they?
Yeah, no, they fell from
Yeah.
the top of the league to the bottom of the league.
Poor Margin. Well,
I have no sympathy, they didn't change the builds.
they were in my division, so I guess I really can't.
Yeah.
say I'd be a little bit shocked. I think I wouldn't have. I think we all expected margins to do well. Saiyans to probably do a bit better than they did. We expected. I think Gohan's we wouldn't be shocked. Well, we might be a little bit, but not majorly.
No.
I think definitely Derp Namek we'd be a bit shocked about.
Yeah.
Not DB Warriors though.
No, I think we
No.
no, definitely not.
But yeah, I think so. We'd be a little bit shocked. I'm kind of
A
pleased
little
with
bit,
it.
a little bit surprised, but in general, not all that amazed.
Well, I far prefer this sort of thing where it's a greater turnover in divisions from season to season. It just makes things more interesting, at least to me. So I'm glad that we got. Well, I'm glad there's a new North Kai apart from us.
And the booze.
Oh, damn it! Ruin everything.
There's a completely new East Kai, actually. That being
Yes,
said,
there is.
everybody from East Kai.
Oh,
Well,
apart from
3 teams have gone
Yeah.
down. Cold have gone up.
Yes,
Nice.
that's true. Squee, are you shocked? Are you shocked?
Yeah, I'm shocked by both Muscle and Majin. Incredibly shocked by Majin. Muscle. Actually, no. You know what? No. Because I'm shocked by the roller coaster of the Muscle this season. So if you'd asked me at the beginning of the season, Muscle dropping to East Kai, I'd be like, okay, I could see that. But Majin's going to South, no. Gohan's going to North. I would be surprised, but not incredibly shocked. But Derp and Derp almost making it to North, shocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Rugrats falling all the way to South Kai, I'd be pretty shocked too.
Poor Rugrats.
Agreed.
You'll get out of there eventually. You'll be like Derp. Or Gohan.
You'll be like a derp. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Rugrats. We
Oh,
approve.
the irony in the statement. That is the right word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I do have some questions proposed to you two as well. I just
Well,
thought
no,
about
no,
doing
it's-
this halfway through the Zcast. I was going through the changes we made for Season 4, and I was wondering, I have a list of them all here, how you think they've affected the league this season. The first thing I have on my list is how do you think 7-point builds have affected Season 4?
Don't think that affected it at all.
Wow.
I think they gave teams that had new players coming in, or that had a lot of new players coming in, more of a fighting chance against teams that had the same teams season after season after season.
Mm.
So, there's always that element of adding 2 extra points gives you so many more options that those teams got more of a fighting chance. And it also just increased the diversity of the build in general, the kind of builds that we've seen being used.
Mm. Okay.
I completely agree. I like that we saw a lot of combinations that you never got to see before.
Yeah.
And you got to see some Pataras that no one ever used because they had to, like, they had more wiggle room. So they had, like, you know what, this seems kind of cool, let's try it.
Mhm.
So I really enjoyed that, and I think that was a big change.
Okay, and then the next one is how do you think a 15-week season has affected everything?
It's given teams more of a chance to, or those teams that were willing to change anyway, more of a chance to figure out their builds and their teams. So we saw, once Muscle decided that actually changing their builds was a good idea, even slightly, it showed that actually there is some good potential there, and that you can change a season around. For the abysmal season that Muscle started off with, they have still only dropped down by 1 division. Now, that is by the skin of their teeth.
Right.
Bear in mind, they got into East Kai by a frickin' technicality. However, they still got into East Kai. So, I think it's given the teams that had a bad start to the season more of a chance to correct it, and it's given the teams that had a good start to the season more of a challenge in keeping that start. I mean, the Super Saiyans, Cold, and Gohans and Blades all had a very good start to the season, but I think they are all very strong teams that we expected to do well, just in general. But like certainly for teams like Muscle, I don't know, I kind of feel a bit sorry for the Rugrats still, but even then, you know, for teams like Muscle, for Derp even, maybe even for Namix, they had these chances to turn around and they took them. And I think that wouldn't have been possible to the same degree if we didn't have the 15-week season.
Agreed. I mean, really, there's not much to add on to that.
Okay. The next, how do you think having 5-player teams and then added on to that rotations has affected it?
Again, more chances for teams to change things around, more thought needing to be put in to players' builds to, kind of change that kind of conflict around between, what do you want certain characters to be doing, conflict between, who's a good starter for, when your main starter's rotated out, and more chances for strategy to come into play. So, putting your strongest team out within your division matches, or putting your strongest team out against weaker opposition, or however you decided. Even if, maybe it was just random and you put it up to chance, it still gives the other team an opportunity to actually see that working, and it gives teams a good chance as well when you have 2 starters and both of those starters are in the team or anyone at the same time. Who are you going to use as a starter? Are you going to use King Cold as your starter, or are you going to use Frieza as your starter? Who's it going to be? Are you going to use Krillin as your starter, or are you going to use Tien as your starter? There is, for the Earthbenders, it's going to be fucking Krillin. But for other teams, that was a bit more of a question. For the androids, it was, is it going to be Cell, or are they going to start with someone else? I don't know. So it's more of a strategic thing as well.
I would say, and one of the biggest things is that it made people concentrate on more than just this week. Because before rotations, before 5 characters, all you had to worry about was the week you were facing, because next week you could completely change builds, and it's like a reset. If this week was bad, no decision you make this week will also affect next week. But now that you had rotations, you had to worry about the season as a whole, because if you rotated out the wrong person at the wrong time and didn't go to the match you needed to go with what you needed, then you could screw yourself over. So I think that was a big change.
Okay. The next one I'm going more into, I guess you could argue nerfs and stuff, but how do you think nerfing Team Gohan has affected the Gohans, or the league as a whole, in that matter?
Did we nerf Team Gohan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped him using that unforgivable build.
Oh! I thought you said Team Gohan.
Oh no, I don't think that works.
how it affected Team Gohan as a whole? It didn't really affect them all that much. I mean, obviously, if you had Team Gohan doing that consistently every game he was in, I think Team Gohan would have been, quite understandably a lot more lazy with their builds with him, and if someone finds a counter to that, as we saw with Kid Buu when he was using a similar build, once that gets countered, you're a bit fucked in that game. And I think it was good for the Go. It was certainly a good thing actually for the Gohans, and for the league in the whole, obviously, but for the Gohans, because it made them focus on their other players almost more than Teen Gohan. Because I was like, okay, we've not just got this massively overpowered character who can do this consistently. We actually have to. We've got a very good character in Teen Gohan, but we need to have a team as well. We can't just have that one player that wins matches for us. We have to have a team behind that, and they've done a phenomenal job with it. So it's definitely been a good thing on the whole.
I would say, quite simply, it took him from being overpowered to not being overpowered.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Okay, and then for Muscle's nerfs to 13 and such, and getting rid of Mega Shenron, do you think they're still, how do you think it's affected Muscle, and do you think it was still the right thing?
I do still think it was the right thing. You won't be able to convince me otherwise. How has it affected Muscle? If you'd have asked me how do I expect expect it to affect muscle. I would have turned around and said, well, obviously it's going to increase the innovation of that team and it's going to make them change their builds. I'd have been completely fucking wrong. But that's what I would have thought would happen. It didn't, so how has it affected them? It's made them less powerful. But apart from that, has it made them any less conservative with their builds? Not really. No. But it's certainly a good thing. It's taken them from being massively overpowered to being a good team if you'll work at it. But it's a case of whether they really, really want to work at it or not.
Yeah, do I still think we should have nerfed him? The only thing we did to nerf him was take away Mega Shinron, and I'm sorry, but that man needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
He was...
also took away High Tension and Tension Up from Android 13.
Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. Yeah, but Omega Shinron, every single B2 was stronger than the average B2. His defense was higher. Mm-hmm. His attack was higher. It was just ridiculous. So he needed to go. And it wasn't like he was a really good character on a really bad team where we might be more lenient. He was a really good character on a really strong team. Yeah. And I still agree with what we did to Android 13 because he was just ridiculous with those abilities.
Went from being overpowered to just being really good.
Yeah. And how did it affect the team as a whole? I honestly think that the majority of Team Muscle's lack of success this season did not stem from the nerf itself. I think it came from the lack of willing to change and adapt to how other teams are doing. And a perfect testament to that was when Team Muscle finally did start making changes, they started doing much better.
It's strange how that happened, isn't it?
Okay. And then, how do you think the Eternal Life and Style of the Strong, how do you think they've impacted the league? Because there was some murmurings of them being overpowered.
That'd be fucking stupid. There were murmurings, but they were bloody ridiculous. I think I said that too many times, did I?
Yeah.
I wasn't subtle.
I don't think they were correct, but I'm not going to call them bloody ridiculous. I just think they weren't looking at the actual numbers and the facts, and they were looking more at what the match felt like instead of what was actually going on.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is a case of you look at, we lost this match very, very handily. For example, you look at something and you say, okay, we lost this match very, very handily. Here's something I don't like or I'm not entirely sure I agree with. I'm going to point to that without actually analysing why what happened and what the real reason behind it was.
But as far as Eternal Life being too strong, back when this was an issue, it was all during the preseason. No one's really brought it up during the main season, but during the preseason when it was an issue, the Saiyans never once used it in any of their matches and won all of them. So facing, I think every single week facing a team that did use it. So, it was not overpowered. It showed that you didn't have to use Eternal Life just to compete with Eternal Life. And as far as Style of the Strong being overpowered, it's a 20% increase to one move for 4 points of build. I'm sorry, that's not overpowered.
Not all that common to throw out.
Yeah, that's not overpowered any way you slice it. When you think that Super Plus 2 adds way more moves for 1 point. So if that's not overpowered, Style of the Strong most definitely is not overpowered.
Okay, and the final thing, which I guess kind of still applies, it's not... Well, actually there's 8 more things I need to go through now. But no, the final thing is TGN. How do you think that's affected the league?
It's grown.
Yes, I was going to say, yeah, it's gotten bigger. I think it's certainly made us more conscious of things like the rules, things like making stuff a lot more clear, a lot more accessible to people. It's had its... I was going to say problems, not the right phrase. It's had its opponents, shall we say, which I'm not. I don't know. It's difficult to say whether most people, with the exception of HDK and some of the staff, I've no fucking idea what we're talking about. So some things happened which may have taken longer to happen otherwise with TGN not being there. It's grown a lot faster with TGN. It's become a lot more, certainly slightly more organized.
I would say that that's not. TGN didn't affect. What we're talking about is, like, for example, things have gotten a bit more competitive. You have a bit more trolling than you used to have. You have some people that are not really great fans or magnanimous fans. But the thing is, that's because the league grew faster than it was expected to. If the league had grown slower, we still would have had these problems, just not as soon.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that TGN was responsible for that. When someone says, how do you think TGN affected the league, I'm thinking TGN itself. And considering the fact that TGN has not in any way, shape, or form attempted to change, dictate, or state how we control, run, or present the league, then the only thing I would say TGN did was help it grow.
Yeah, okay, if you put it in that very narrow way of saying, okay, how is TGN directly affected? It hasn't. Literally the only thing TGN has done in that way has actually been accelerated what would have happened anyway.
Well, and it made the presentation of the actual league much more polished because I started doing way more work to the league itself, like replays and skits at the end and all that, but I don't think anyone's complaining that that's a problem.
No, I think it's a terrible thing. I think your sense of humour is awful, and I think you should stop it forthwith.
I would say that, yeah, it's broken it up. Instead of having it be 1 2-hour episode, it's 4 over the course of the week with replays and intros and all that stuff. So I guess it did affect it in that way, and it did help.
I'm not sure you could. It certainly made that happen a lot faster. I'm not sure that as it grew, whether you would have done that anyway. I don't know. That might have been something that we decided, but that's a bit hypothetical in and of itself.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
But I would say that the big thing that people could say is that it's grown, and with that, it's had, of course, growing pains. But these are pains that would have happened sooner or later anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it then. I'm done. I'm done. And that's. I think we already did. We already did the playoffs. The schedule has been ruined.
See, we
And I didn't
don't
even
do a
notice.
schedule. It's a terrible bloody idea. We'll see you next time, folks.